Assalamualaikum, hi students. So sorry for the interruption just now. So in this lecture, we will learn about, I will introduce you to the second law of thermodynamics, and you will learn about heat engines, up to the efficiency, thermal efficiency. Okay, so second law of thermodynamics. Okay, let's first recall first law of thermodynamics, which you have learned in previous chapters. Okay, so first law of thermodynamics states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but they can change form. But process cannot, it's not complete with just a first law. Okay, we need the second law of thermodynamics for the process to happen. Where the second law of the thermodynamics mainly give you the direction of your energy. So let's see some example here. A cup of hot coffee does not get hotter in a cooler room. In a normal practice, we will only see a hot coffee getting cooler. Okay, it will not getting hotter on its own unless you have a boiler, a kettle boiler. Okay, so this process, a cup of coffee does not get hotter in a cooler room. It does not happen. Okay, it will not happen. Okay, this example is when you have mass. Okay, you have mass here. The mass will pull up the string, and this pedal will move. Okay, the reverse process is the mass will raise by transferring. If you add heat to the fluid, you add heat from the fluid to the pedal, will the mass raise? The answer is no, it won't happen, because the process is we want to rotate this pedal by increasing the potential energy from the mass. Okay, that's how the process works. Okay, now the third example here, it gives you a electrical, okay, where I equal to 0. By transferring heat to the wire, you will not generate electricity. You will only generate electricity if this current, if you have a switch, okay, and you switch on the current. So that's how you generate electricity. By adding heat to the wire, you cannot generate electricity. Okay. So now, okay, so basically the major use of the second law is to identify the direction of the process. So you have, this is the main function, and you have to remember this. And other uses include to assert the energy has quality as well as quantity, determine the degree of degradation of energy, determine the theoretical limits of the performance. So this is your thermal efficiency. And last one is to predict the degree of completion of a chemical reaction. So like I said just now, your process might satisfy both first and second law for the process to of the thermodynamic, for the process to proceed. Okay, you must have both. It must satisfy both law. Okay, now let's go to thermal energy reservoir. So reservoir, okay, if a reservoir, there are two types of reservoir: thermal energy sources or thermal energy sink. So for thermal energy sources, you supply heat to the surrounding. Okay, you supply heat. Okay, on the other hand, if you absorb heat, your reservoir is called thermal energy sink. Okay, the thermal energy sources is also called known as QH. H is stand for high temperature, QH, and the thermal energy sink, QL, L for low temperature. So make sure you don't mix up these two terms. So sink is for low temperature, where you absorb heat, and thermal energy sources is for high temperature, happen at high temperature, QH. where you will supply heat to your process. Okay, so now let's look at heat engines. So heat engines are devices that convert heat to work. So there are 4 main characteristics. First, you will receive heat from high temperature sources. Okay, so you will receive heat. So you will receive QH. Okay, then you will convert part of this heat to work, and then you will reject remaining waste heat to low temperature sink. And 4, the cyclic operation. So heat engines normally involve fluid to and from which heat is transferred while undergoing the cycle. So here, the picture below is the schematic for heat engines. So you have a high temperature source, say the reservoir just now, high temperature source, and you will supply heat. So you will receive Q in to the heat engine. Then from there, your heat engine will produce work, and the balance energy will send to low temperature sink. Okay, this is known as QL. Okay, here's another example. See this pedal. The pedal will rotate so that water can release heat to the surrounding. Okay, this process is it happens. It can happen. Okay, but if there is no work, pedal won't rotate. If you transfer heat into water, okay, you cannot. It won't happen. Okay, this process won't happen. It does not obey the law. Let's look at okay, steam power plant is one example for heat engines. So this is the process, a cyclic process, where you will start with a boiler. Okay, your boiler will receive energy Q in from, let's say, a furnace, such as a furnace. You will receive sources from a furnace. So basically what happens in the boiler is it will boil liquid water to steam. Okay, because we want to produce steam, so that steam will rotate the blades in the turbine. Okay, once the blade rotates, as the blade attached to the shaft, and you will generate work out. Then your excess steam, which is also known as waste heat, will be sent to condenser, and here at the condenser you will release heat. Okay, and your steam will be converted to liquid. Now we want to send back your liquid to the boiler, so we need a pump with a work input. Okay, and the cycle will continue. Okay, so now your equation is W net out, okay, equals to W out minus W in. Okay, and remember, for a cycle, as we have learned in chapter 4, okay, chapter 4, for a cycle, delta E equal to 0, so your Q equals to W. W net is equal to Q net. Okay, for a cycle. Okay, so let's look back. So W net equals to Q net. So your W net out is equals to Q in minus Q out. So you have to remember this relationship. Don't get mixed up, out minus in. Okay, it's always Q in minus Q out, and for W is W out minus W in. Remember the sign. Okay, it's positive. Out, this is positive and this is negative. Because sometimes in the question will not give you W out or W in. So you have to calculate W net out based on your heat information. Heat in, Q in and Q out. Okay, now this is thermal efficiency. It is defined as a desired work output divided by required input. So in our case, for the heat engine, it is your net work output, W net out, over divided by total heat input, Q in. Okay, in this case, your Q in is your QH. The energy supply from the reservoir. So this is the equation. So just now, W net out is equal to Q in minus Q out. So in this case, Q in is equal to QH minus QL. Okay. So this is so equal to QH minus QL over QH. So that's why you got, sorry, this is H. Okay. QH over QH is 1. So 1 minus QL over QH. So this is your equation for thermal efficiency. One thing that's important for thermal efficiency is it cannot be 100%. Okay. So let's see why. So can we save Q out? Okay. Can we save Q out, QL? The answer is no. Why? Because so remember, your process need to complete the cycle. Okay. So every heat engine must waste or sink some energy by transferring it to a low temperature reservoir in order to complete the cycle, even under idealized condition. If you don't have QW, you will left until this part only. Okay. So it is not impossible. It is impossible. Okay. You must complete the cycle by waste or sink some energy, okay, and transferring it to the low temperature reservoir. Okay. So this relates with the Kelvin-Planck statement. Alright. So where the statement said it is impossible for any device that operates on a cycle to receive heat from a single reservoir and produce the net amount of work. So here the example is QL equal to 0. So your QH 100% go to Q net out. So if you calculate the thermal efficiency, you will get 1, okay, or 100%. So this is possible because thermal efficiency cannot be 100%. In your textbook, okay, there is a statement saying that even the best condition just now for heat engine, the best the most efficient heat engines that is available now is only up to 50%. Okay, so just keep in mind, for heat engine you must have a complete process from QH, you release W net out, and you must have QL. You must release energy to the lower temperature sink. Alright, so I'll continue the presentation in next video. Okay, thank you.